Ladies and gentlemen, so Season 9 is upon us, and it is always one of the, if not the biggest patch that we get within Fortnite for a specific season. So we're going to discuss a lot of the variables for season number 9. Of course, like always, guys, do not forget to use supporter creator code the Blitzwingers, 2 Z's, in the Fortnite item shop. Thank you so very much for the support to those of you that do go on ahead and use that supporter creator code. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Now, with that in mind, what are we going to discuss? Well, in this video, I'm not going to talk about like a lot of the aesthetic stuff in terms of skins and things like that. I will make probably a separate video once I have all the skins unlocked, and that will take a while, obviously, since I don't buy my tiers. I actually go through them and, you know, get the challenges done and so on and so. Well, I guess, sorry, that's kind of a lie, because I guess I did buy the first 25 when you buy the battle pass. Okay, regardless, I'm going on a tangent. Let's focus up on the update itself. So let's first and foremost discuss the new locations, because I think that is without a shadow of a doubt the most exciting stuff. And that is the brand new Neo Tilted, which looks terrific. It's a brand new environment where Tilted used to be. Now it's a very futuristic building or set of buildings. It looks fantastic. They have hot air balloon, not hot air balloons, what are they called, like the big giant float. They have those flying above the city, which is really cool. It is kind of funny to think that for whatever reason, I guess the insurance company from the Fortnite universe has now taken over Neo Tilted, because it looks like almost everything in the city is sponsored by them. So that's kind of funny that it is there. But it's a fantastic looking build. I really have enjoyed exploring it so far. I think the best way I would recommend to explore the map is either going to creative or maybe Team Rumble, because those modes allow you to obviously respawn again, so you're not worried about like, oh, okay, I dropped in, and you immediately have to worry about 1,000 other people dropping to Neo Tilted and having to fight them. Now, what are the other locations? Well, if you remember, during the volcano event at the very conclusion of Season 8, the meteorites that flew out, they didn't just destroy Tilted Towers, they also did destroy a very big chunk of Retail Row. Well, Retail Row has now been renamed into the Mega Mall, and it is fantastic looking. I really did enjoy the Mega Mall. I think it's a really cool build. And again, what I love about the Mega Mall is that it has a multitude of layers and levels, and there's so many little nooks and crannies to run through. It's very overwhelming at first, and to me, when I just played my first matches, I was annoyed, because I was like, oh my gosh, there's just too much stuff happening. There's so many people all around you. It's really tough to figure out what the heck you should be doing. But then when I put in a little bit of time in Team Rumble and just kind of, you know, at my own leisure explored, like, oh, okay, this is where I could go here. This is where this room leads into. And then, oh, I could use this staircase and so on and so forth. I was really impressed by the structure of it. It's really well designed, and I'm looking forward to dropping in the Mega Mall and trying to get some pop-off performances there. Now, the other thing that was really interesting is that the volcano has been destroyed. Well, sort of destroyed. It's no longer an active volcano, and instead, inside the volcano, there's now a plant, and it's a really cool design. I think that it's a really cool adjustment, and I think it looks pretty interesting. I think that it will make the volcano area a lot more active than it used to be. No pun intended. But overall, I guess we can transition from that to the other big change with this season, because a lot of people will be thinking, well, wait, the volcano used to cause those geysers, and we had geysers across the map. Yep, you'd be correct. But now, instead, there's something called the Slipstreams that have been added all across the map in many different areas. So not unlike the geysers, where they were very limited to certain spots, if you recall. The Slipstreams, they're way a larger amount of them across the map, and they're available pretty much everywhere. I want to say, you see, I don't know if there are any in the ice area, because I didn't drop there yet, like Happy Hamlet, like that far part of the ice area. I don't think there are any over there. So maybe that's the one exception to the rule. But generally speaking, they have these giant, what look like almost like Dyson fans, you know, like the ones without the blades in them. So it kind of looks like those, and they basically generate a stream of air that you can push through. So you can use them to glide, you can use them to get around very quickly. One of the challenges for week 1 in the game is actually to go all around, I think, the Mega Mall using the Slipstreams. So you can really kind of see how they're going to be very important to the mobility of the game, but then also towards the escapes. Like if you need to get out of a crazy situation, you might be able to jump into one of these and be able to get away that way. Now, they are quite up high for the most part above the ground in most scenarios. So it's not like a geyser where you just run towards it and then it shoots you up. You actually have to get into the stream of air. So sometimes you do need to build up to them. In fact, I would say most of the time you have to build up to them in order to use them. So it's interesting how they went about setting these up. So far, I've liked them. They've not been annoying. And I think that they will probably help the mobility of the game overall. Now, from there, let's transition to the next big thing that we need to discuss, and that is going to be the weapons and weapon changes and things like that, because that's really the other big element that we need to go on ahead and consider here. Now, by the way, I'm only covering stuff right now for the Battle Royale side of things. If you guys want to see like a Save the World update or creative update as well for Season 9, let me know by hitting the like button on this video. If this video hits, I don't know, let's say 750 likes, then I'll put together one of the patch note breakdowns for probably Save the World first. So there you go. All right, so let's get into the news. First and foremost, I guess let's go through somewhat more of the boring stuff, and that's the updates to certain things. For example, the drum gun availability has been reduced from 16% down to 7%, which I think is fantastic. It's basically been cut more than in half as far as like how often you will find it. I think that that's great because a lot of people who despise, I would even go as far as to say hate the drum gun, were very, very mad when it came back. And I think this kind of negates that issue to at least an extent. If you make it very, very rare, at least people won't be running into it as much. Hopefully, this will help that issue. I've personally already noticed it in the handful of games that I've played. I definitely have noticed that there's far less drum guns running around, whereas when they just got Unvaulted, it seemed like every second person had drum guns. Like I remember I played a game where I legit ran into 3 drum guns, chest after chest after chest. I was like, are you kidding me? It was insane. So I'm very, very happy to see that change. The boom bow availability was reduced from 1.292% to 0.755, so 0.755%. I don't really know why that was a change, because I feel like the boom bow wasn't really a problem at all in the regular modes, like in the Battle Royale matches. I think that it might have a higher spawn rate in Team Rumble because you just have higher spawn rates of legendary weapons. But in general, I did not particularly run into this issue where I was like, oh my gosh, the boom bow is just way too available in the regular matches. So I'm a little surprised that it's already a legendary item and it's already quite rare, but they lowered it even more. So I'm guessing there were some balancing issues that they needed to address there. Now, the tactical shotgun damage was also adjusted, which I was so happy about because I was so annoyed at the tactical shotgun in the last season. It was just infuriating at the little amount of damage that it would do. So the base damage was now increased from 66, 70, and 74 all the way up to 71, 75, 79. So they increased each one by roughly about 5-ish points. Exactly 5 damage points. So I think that that's a good change, especially when we discuss the next thing, which is the introduction of a brand new shotgun. So we saw the pump shotgun be vaulted, and I'll discuss all the other vaulted items in just one second. We'll rotate back to that. But we got the new addition of the combat shotgun, which is a semi-automatic shotgun that holds 10 shells. It fires 9 pellets per shot for 73, 77, and 81 base damage. So obviously it's the more powerful alternative to the tactical. It has a tighter spread and fast fire rate. The headshot multiplier is 1.7-fold towards those other base damage figures that I provided. So 73 times 1.7, 77 times 1.7, and 81 times 1.7. And it does actually reload 2 shells at a time. It's a very weird weapon. It seems to be kind of divisive in the community in general right now because a lot of people like it, and then a lot of people like myself, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel like I'm probably going to go towards the tactical as my shotgun of choice for now, at least until they adjust certain things and maybe adjust the way that this one works. I am a little surprised by the range on this shotgun. Like I was able to do damage at what I would consider about like medium range. Like if you remember the heavy shotgun, it used to do damage from quite a far away. I almost feel like this is kind of similar to the heavy shotgun, but it has a much greater fire rate, more similar to like the tactical. So it's in a weird spot as far as like a shotgun that we've gotten, but I was very, very surprised that the pumps were vaulted and instead we got this new shotgun type introduced. I'm very, very curious from you guys Down in the comment section below, let me know what you think of this new shotgun. Do you like it better or worse than the pump, or maybe even the what was it called, the heavy shotgun? Which one was your personal favorite and why? As far as rarity for this particular weapon, it is available in rare, epic, and legendary, so it's a higher rarity weapon. So again, also kind of interesting because the pump was available in common as well, if you recall, or sorry, uncommon as a green. So it's interesting that this weapon instead will only have 3 rarities, which means that it's probably less likely to be found than something like the pump shotguns were. So that'll be interesting to see how that will affect gameplay. And then it will be available on to spawn from floors, chests, supply drops, and vending machines. So pretty much everything. All right, so let's talk about the vault, the doomed vault. Now, I was shocked by how many things were vaulted in this update. But to be fair, when I really thought about it, I was like, I agree with almost all of these. I think they all make sense for the most part, at least. Again, with the exception of the pump shotgun and a couple of others. So first of all, the buried treasure has been vaulted, which makes sense because it was kind of thematic towards season 8 with the pirates and everything. So I think that that makes sense, and I think that that's an understandable adjustment there. This one was also kind of a surprise to me, and that was the vaulting of the poison dart trap. I don't really get why they would go on ahead and remove it. I think that having the traps in the game is actually a really cool idea. It's one of the things that I would love to see more of from Save the World. I would love to see some of the other traps that we see in Save the World, like the electricity trap and a few of the other ones, like the bounce pad trap, where like you step on, or husks, I guess, step on it and it shoots them away into the air. I think things like that would be really cool to see in the game as well, because it would add even more like strategy and like how you can defeat opponents without just having to fight them. So I think it would be cool to see more of. So I'm a little surprised that that was actually vaulted. The scoped revolver was vaulted, which I think is reasonable. I actually had the debate with Gamer, not debate, like a discussion, I guess, with Gamer about this, where he was saying, oh, it's a good weapon and he uses it often, but I was like, how many times have you actually used it, and so on and so forth. He could like quote maybe once or twice. So it's not a very popular weapon to begin with. I don't think a lot of people were using it. So I think that it makes sense that it has been now vaulted. Then the clingers were vaulted, which was kind of surprising, but it seems like they keep flipping and turning the clingers and grenades back and forth. So luckily, the unvaulting of the grenades kind of balances back out the clingers being removed. I personally prefer the clingers over the grenades, so I'm kind of bummed out about that because I just think they're a lot more functional than the grenades. But to be fair, if you like the grenades, I'm sure you'll be happy about this particular vault and unvault process. From there, let's move on to the other few vaulted items. And again, as you can hear, there's a lot of vaulted things with this particular patch. The thermal assault rifle was vaulted. I think that's probably similar to the revolver, like the scoped revolver. I actually liked the thermal assault rifle. I would use it sometimes, but I just think that it's probably in that same kind of area of where most people don't really use it, and most people, like, even if they find it, as soon as they find a decent AR, they will just drop it and leave it behind. It's not a particularly popular weapon, so I think maybe that's why it was vaulted. The balloons were also vaulted, which is kind of surprising because they were popular for a hot minute there. There was a period of time where people really used the balloons for a while when they just came out, and then after that it had like another resurgence in popularity, but now they are gone, at least for the foreseeable future. And then the other one that really surprised me was the suppressed assault rifle. So that's the SCAR, the suppressed SCAR. I was very surprised that that was actually also vaulted, because I don't know, I felt like it was a nice variety weapon for the assault rifles, because I feel like there's just not enough of them. But to be fair, since in season 8 they did do the whole update to the infantry rifle, maybe they can kind of justify, you know, having to vault this one because they have another legendary variation and epic variation on the infantry rifles. So maybe they're trying to push for the popularity of the infantry rifles to go up. So maybe this is kind of their way of doing that. So with that in mind, there you go. Those were kind of the key elements that I wanted to discuss. Of course, we could talk about different modes and things like that, like whether it be the fact that Trios is back for now. They did include the Fortabytes, I think they were called. What do they call them? I'm trying to remember. I want to say they were called bytes. I think it's either Fort bytes or Fort bytes, one or the other, which is basically going to be like these kind of like puzzle computer chips that you collect and are available to Battle Pass owner, and then you'll get like some sort of image once we get them all unlocked. It's tough to say right now because obviously we're only at the beginning of the season, like literally day one, so we don't really know exactly what it will unfold into. But regardless, ladies and gents, thank you so very much for watching this update for the Fortnite Season 9 event and launch. I'm super duper stoked to check out what else Season 9 brings to us. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions and thoughts down in the comment section below about Season 9. Are you happy with the changes? Are you not? For me personally, I really like that there's like a futuristic element now to Fortnite. And I think that this really does kind of favor the idea that we might get some energy weapons at some point in this update. I think that there's a good chance that maybe they will at least be introduced. Maybe they'll be broken. Maybe they'll be awful. I guess time will tell, and the community will decide, as well as, of course, Epic's reaction to the community, to the communities, I guess. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of Season 9. I am genuinely curious. I will probably make a video about the skins again as soon as I have more of them unlocked. It's just that at this point I think I'm at tier 29, 30, so still a ways to go, obviously. And if you want to see an update discussing like the changes to Save the World, let me know as well, and I'll definitely get to work on that. Thanks all for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and of course have an absolutely fantastic day. I'll see you later, alligators. Bye bye, everyone.